fish rumbles of all sizes, welcome back to A.S.K's videos. This episode, SpongeBob You're Tired. It managed to be... wow. I know this episode's gotten a ton of hate over the years, and I have to say, it deserved every bit of it. Even Pie Guy, who makes 3-minute SpongeBob reviews, made a 9-minute review on this, so you'd expect it to be bad. Anyway, you should watch that. He makes some great points. So, if you're new here, I do cartoon reviews, and if you enjoy that kind of stuff, consider subscribing. And don't forget to comment down below your thoughts on the episode, and check out my website down below and in the card above for links and lots of spoilers. Anyways, I will try to review this episode with my opinion. No copying, no bandwagon. I'll try to bring something new to the table. That being said, some key points will obviously be repeated, so don't kill me.
You would never murder me, would you, Devin?
Anyway, let's go chronologically here. The episode starts off with SpongeBob doing the usual. Making patties, cleaning dishes, and being crazy. Now, there's something I like about this scene. It is a good intro. It shows SpongeBob working hard and enthusiastically. You feel bad for the character later because you just saw that he loves working at his Krusty Krab. But, on the other hand, this scene is just thrown in there to fill time. It is sweet, but in the long run, and counting the fact that the episode stinks, it's just filler. And you'll notice that is a big thing in this episode. There is so much filler! Oh, I know, it's because this was a rating strap. And for something to be even more of a rating strap, you make it a special. So, 11 minutes, plus random bits of standing, walking, crying, or doing what SpongeBob does in like every episode. Then, SpongeBob gets fired for a nickel. Okay, I won't even go on a tangent because we all know where I'm gonna end. But I'll do it anyway.
Several bad puns later.
And this sets up the entire plot. This one gag is what gets SpongeBob fired. It is the foundation of the house you're making. If it's the size of a toothpick, your house is going to collapse before you can say I. It could have been like this. SpongeBob does something dumb to send all the customers giving Krabs huge lawsuits. Mr. Krabs is likable and not a jerk, and actually has to give up SpongeBob in a heart-wrenching scene. Then, later, when the episode is ending and the Krusty Krab is in flames, Krabs actually gets SpongeBob back and doesn't care about the price. He says that he's done a lot of bad things in his days. If you want to add filler, you could actually reference older episodes like Krabby Chronicle, One Course Meal, Krabby Land, or Jellyfish Hunter, and it can end like Selling Out. You can even throw in a joke or two, and that is my opinion. But if you thought the writers had even this tiniest speck of a billionth of the amount of a brain Patrick has, divided by one Googleplex, then you're in the wrong show, pal. After that pointlessness, we get Sad Bob Depressed Pants. Okay, you've riffed off like 7 episodes already. The title is a ripoff of Mrs. Puff You're Fired. The intro is referenced to like every SpongeBob episode. SpongeBob getting fired is a ripoff of Squid on Strike, Model Sponge, and even Karate Choppers. And Mr. Krabs being cheap isn't an unoriginal premise or anything. And now you're ripping off A Day Without Tears with SpongeBob crying for like an entire minute. Take a sip every time it copies an older episode. Be careful, I don't want your livers to be as damaged as this episode. So then SpongeBob goes home slowly and feeds Gary. This adds literally nothing. And then Patrick shows SpongeBob the fun of unemployment, because Nickelodeon thinks kids are idiots who will never grow up to be anything. 3 writers, guys. 3 writers. 3 people went to college to make this. 3 people paid intuition to make this. Now that's just sad. So Patrick takes SpongeBob, ruins Squidward's garden because that's never been done before, do nothing for 30 seconds, and go to Sandy's dome, where the only remotely important thing is that SpongeBob, with no real motivation or build-up, gets normal again from one line by Sandy. We see him walk for a few seconds because who doesn't love that? And see him go apply for a new job. First he goes to the Weenie Hut, creative name by the way, where he makes Krabby Patties instead of wieners, because that's never been done before in the Big Switch or anything. And then he goes to 3 other restaurants, each as long and senseless as the last. Then SpongeBob goes home again and feeds Gary and Patrick some food to fill in just a bit more time. and when he hears a knock on the door and goes to answer it, he gets abducted by the Wiener Guy's crew. Okay, I don't know why he's getting abducted, but okay, I guess. When he goes to the Weenie Hut, the guy says that his customers loved his patty wieners, even though he threw them on the floor, and accepting defeat would be embarrassing for him and his business. And how did they find him again? And did I mention that this doesn't make sense in the everlasting slightest? Because if not, this doesn't make sense in the everlasting slightest. Then he traps SpongeBob there, not knowing how desperate Nickelodeon is for this to be 22 minutes, and that the other 3 guys will abduct him themselves. Although the pizza guy was pretty much the same with bread in it, the tacos went on the customers' faces, and the noodles were thrown in SpongeBob's face. Then a mysterious Krabby Patty jumps out of nowhere and abducts SpongeBob once again. And surprise of all surprises, it was Squidward, because the Krusty Krab is in shambles, because that flint-skinned crab with the brain the size of a needlepoint decides to fire SpongeBob for a nickel. And the episode ends with the biggest idiot joining the Krusty Krab once again. And just so we could take off the viewer a bit more, let's add a pay toilet so Mr. Krabs wouldn't be broke. My God. Take a deep breath. Continue. Okay, if you didn't get it yet, here are what I think to be the main problems with the episode. It had tons of filler. You know, if this wasn't on Nick, this episode might have been much more enjoyable. And the reason is that SpongeBob You're Fired was literally made so it could get views. Be clickbaity, be a ratings trap essentially. If it wasn't about the money and the bottom line for Nick, this would actually be halfway decent. The next problem is that it rehashes a lot of older episodes. I made a list, so here we go. Mrs. Puff You're Fired, Squid on Strike, Model Sponge, Karate Choppers, A Day Without Tears, Little Big Switch, every Squidward torture episode ever, and every Mr. Krabs Greed episode. The characters have zero motivation. The plot moves along, but the characters and reasons don't move to it, because causing zero motivation or reason to do something with the plot. It doesn't know what to be. Once again, if SpongeBob was on Nickelodeon, hypothetically, it wouldn't be like this. The creative control is sacrificed for Nickelodeon's strict guidelines. This causes less caring in the writing, which results in bad characters, no sense, and a lack of comedy. And I'm sorry, but this falls into the category here. And that's it. So, did I rage on this episode? Yeah, kinda. Did it deserve it? I mean, no innocent premise deserves hate. It's the writing and overall making that influence the end product. I guess what I mean is that animation is like a child. Every child starts out the same. It's the parents and surrounding lives of the child that build different characters and personalities in people. But this episode's premise, the baby, so to speak, is already leaning to the bad side. It being clickbaity is because of the grandparents of the baby, in our case, Nickelodeon, that caused the baby to come out wrong. Okay, this got weird pretty soon. Anyway, I give this a 0 out of 10. Nick is the issue here. I'm not saying the writers are totally innocent here, but without Nickelodeon asking for a ratings trap just to get views, the writers could have had much more fun with this premise. Or without it even. I mean, it doesn't really bring anything new to the table. Or if they had more creative control, this would have at least had some effort into it. I guess we'll never know what goes on in the back room at Nick Studios. Anyways, don't forget to leave your thoughts on the episode in the comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you like what you see. If you're new, feel free to check out my YouTube homepage for more videos, and check out my website for links and tons of spoilers. Links, as always, in the description and card up above. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Hey guys, if you're still here, thank you so much for watching. No, really. Thanks so much for watching all my videos, because I've officially reached 100,000 views on YouTube, and you have no idea how much this means to me. I'd like to thank everyone who spent time to watch me. So a big solemn thank you to you on the side of the screen. Yes, you. Thanks to all my loyal subscribers and everyone else. It's been a long road, and I'm finally here. I've been on this road since like August of last year, August of 2016. And it wasn't me who brought me here, it was all of you who spent time out of their lives to watch my silly goof-off cartoon videos. So yeah, if you made it this far, I appreciate that. I know some of my videos aren't the best to watch, some of them can get boring at times, but I put my all into them, and this video has been on the line for a while now. I've been doing the earbuds for like 10 million years, and then I just spent like the whole weekend just trying to make it and stuff. So yeah, I had a lot of fun making this video, and I know it's to a good cause. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you once again. Thanks for watching, and peace out.